Yo, what's up guys? CastnBlast back, and we are going to go over some hog attacks. We're going to go over some more shattered, some more stoned. Later on, I'm going to do some giant healer bull or hog combos for you guys. We got a lot of stuff coming this week. We got the update ahead. I can't really say when that's happening, nor do I know, but it's coming up. Hogs are getting a little buff. I'm going to see, I'm pretty sure they're going to be back in the meta. I mean, they already are with us. Hogs are great. You are seeing a lot of stoned hog attacks. We'll go over some of the differences and some of what you're looking at here real quick. So hog attacks can be as simple or as sophisticated, difficult as you need them to be. You see, this is a 9.5 base, but pretty much a Town Hall 9 defense-wise. Not even maxed out heroes for 9, but he is starting some silly Town Hall 10 upgrades on here. And what makes hog attacks, you know, in the meta right now when you're looking at base, people will put out defenses to kind of collect your troops. Remember, a mortar, if you have a 7 to 9 tile split, when you put it in, if there's a closer wall, you can get, you know, a golem up over here and start cutting your funnel. You need to funnel your troops to where you want them eventually, but you don't want to throw things in front of heroes, in front of CCs to just get slaughtered. You know, if you want to take the queen and the CC down, start getting your funnel cut first thing. That's the most important, and then get to where you're going. Right now in the meta, you're going to see a lot of outside type of Teslas in the corner or hidden on the outside of the base. I'm pretty sure this one doesn't have it, but those are things you got to watch out for, or just outside defenses with traps around them to begin with. You'll notice he uses a pretty simple setup: 3 heals and 1 jump. If you're going 3 heals, you probably know you're going 23 plus hogs because you're healing your hogs the whole time. Or I like to go 2 heals, a rage, and a jump. And use the rage and a jump on my kill squad. Try to get in the middle. A lot of people will go stoned, 3 golems, and then they'll do 2 heals, a rage, and jump. And they'll actually use a heal and a rage with their kill squad. So we'll go over all that real quick. But see how he sizes up the base here. He puts the golem on the outside, and that's going to let him cut the funnel to where he eventually wants his troops. That golem's just to collect mortar fire, archer tower fire. It doesn't quite get that mortar, but now as that funnel is beginning to get cut, he throws his golem up front, and he uses what we'll see is the corner of the defense. So you got to map out your heroes. That's 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cell, 5 cell. If you put him here, that's 6 cells. The hero will aggro on there. If you put them on the outside, hero's got a 6 cell aggro, you are perfectly fine. So that's something to keep in your bank if you want to place your troops. So now that he's got a great funnel cut, he leaves that anchor building when he sets in his troops. He doesn't want to cut this way and then throw his troops here, because now, is this the closest building or is that the closest building? This is. So make sure you have some sort of anchor building when you're putting your troops into the core. The CC pulls, that's a great poison drop right there. He rages the CC. That's going to get the bowlers, the heroes, any sort of wizard that went in there, just working that much quicker. His king goes down to their max queen. Not an issue. His queen's taking care of business. He's still got full golems up. And now as the golem's tanking, collecting that fire, right? That golem's collecting, that one's collecting, all from these buildings. Here comes his first set of hogs. He uses 5 hogs, and then you'll see as they start collecting fire, you're just going to keep on using hogs. And the all-important cleanup troops. Don't waste all your troops on that initial kill squad. Save something to clean up. I like saving, personally, goblins. Fast, and they do a lot of damage cleaning up all that trash buildings left on the outside from your hogs. Especially since it's usually collectors, storages, that sort of thing. So as his hogs move in, everything has died in his kill squad except that trap golem. The trap golem is completely worthless. So it's up to the hog to kill a cannon, an archer tower, an X-bow, a bomb tower, a mortar, and whoop, and a looks like a Tesla just popped up there and a couple traps. Not a problem. I think he has his entire hog squad alive. Throws the wizards on cleanup. If I had to nitpick anything on that, once his hogs reached here, even here, I would have thrown the wizards down. Just gets them going. Kind of automatic for me. Once I throw my hogs and they clear that entire first cell, you know, just the very first cell, I throw my cleanup troops right there. It gets them working, and it's saved me so many times. So his hogs are simply going to clean up, and you can just see how powerful that is. Hogs are great for cleaning up. They are faster than loons, and they do an amazing job. So as long as you get those parts down, you get that funnel cut, you get the heroes killed, you do some tanking, your hogs, if you can keep those suckers alive, they will treat you nicely. Wizard meet the hogs at that last building. Then it's a mad race over to the builder hut, and job done. So let's take a look. That's Wilbur. He's got a Stoned GoHo bag as well. So we'll take a look at a few of those. So we are actually back to Wilbur right away. Same war. He goes with the Stoned GoHo. Go hobo. Because we're using bullers in the CC attack. But with a stoned attack, you're dropping some hogs and you're bringing more golems. That's more tanking you have to utilize. If you're going to bring that much tanks to a party, you're going to use more spells on them. So he dropped down to 2 heals. Now you got a rage and a jump. Your poisons for the CC down to 18 hogs, and that's usually just for a back half of the base. You need this kill squad. You need to cut like a wide funnel. You'll see him come in here. You'll cut a wide funnel, and you need to get pretty much that portion of the base if you're going to do it done, and let your hogs clean up the back end. So we'll go over. It works out perfectly, you know, well enough. You'll see he loaded up a ton of storages right there by the queen, trying to make it hard for you to get there, at least costly, as far as getting some DPS on your troops. And then on the other side, put out a outside mortar, so that way you can't set a great anchor without your kill squads getting affected. So on this one, he sets those 2 golems. They cut a create funnel. As they're moving into the base, here comes his kill squad. Right away goes that rage spell. I might have held off on it a little bit till the golems went a little deeper. So you'll see his bowlers take a brunt of that CC damage. Not a problem. The poison's there. The queen's going to clean it up, and those golems are still using a tanking. A lot of times when you're using a stoned attack, you kind of want to wait for it to develop, guys. Let those golems tank. Let your troops work in. Right now, he still has his queen. If he would have held back just a little bit on those bowlers, I bet they would have walked in the base. His queen would step up, taking it out, and they would still be killing. So you can still utilize these guys. Let them keep walking. Let them keep marching. Let them keep shooting. But what he decides to do is, as they're causing some distraction, he gets his hogs in to start doing a sweep. So you'll see everything else is in a line. Like I said, you want to clear half the base. Could he have waited a few more seconds? Probably, but he's getting good tank power out of those troops. So he decides to use that tank power and release his packs of hogs so they can work in unison across this base. And it works out just like he wanted it to. So there's a few different ideas, a few different philosophies there. That king, on his last bit of health, he bravely tanked for those hog packs so they could take down some whiz towers. Now he has 2 heals and has those, double giant bombs. Not an issue, because he's got the heal down and they're not as powerful anymore. He uses the last heal to cover that very last cell as his queen falls to some fire. There's only a few defenses left, so it's not a problem for the hogs. Unfortunately, the hogs didn't split off on that mortar, so they're going to have to kill the cannon, run all the way back to the mortar, and then start their cleanup. And as we know, Hogs AI is horrible. So as their friends start getting slaughtered one by one on that king, they just ignore it. Keep on hitting down resource buildings. Because why not? You're a hog rider. You don't care what you do, right? So, they end up getting the job done anyways. I do not know what that deal is. This has frustrated me since How many years have I been in Town Hall 9 now? Seems like the Hog Rider AI to aggro onto a hero gets better for a little bit and then worse. Right now, it is absolutely horrendous. They will let 9 of their friends fall while they hit an elixir collector until they finish and turn around and try to chop the king and get killed. So there you go, another 3-star, great stoned attack. Let's take a look at a few more. So I wanted to go over this attack specifically. This is a great meta base that you will see consistently now. Man, I can't wait for the meta change. But you got your air defenses all here. You got your splash and your archer towers all on this side with your queen outside. Town hall outside defenses. You know, years ago I'd look at this and laugh. Like, come on, man, you don't even know how to protect your base. But now this is what the game has become. He's using a stoned attack, and I want to show you this because this is kind of what happens when things go wrong. We'll just dive right into it. And I think there's some mistakes here. He might come at me right after a video and be like, no, Cast, I meant to walk my queen around the base. Who knows? I highly doubt that because that's part of, I don't know, 0 strategy ideas. But he does get a wandering kill squad, and that will happen to you. But with a stoned attack, like I mentioned, usually you want to use most, if not all, of your spells on your kill squad. So you're bringing 16 hogs around. You can almost kill the entire base with those wizard, bowlers, golem, and heroes. The hogs are used to usually just strategically pick off a couple of defenses at the end with a stoned attack if you're doing it correctly. And if you guys actually watch Snip Alumni, if you guys have ever seen his channel, he does actually have a guy on there, it was very recently, going over attacks. They do kind of a competition where he attacks, the other guy attacks the same base. It is an awesome series, but the guy's a great Stoned GoHo user. I got to watch that and I appreciated his philosophies on it and fully agreed with him because I've been such a long time hog user. But you want to keep that kill squad going and keep them ripping through the base. And what you'll see here is he gets his 3 golems down. He gets 1 on the mortar. He pulls it from far away, right? You start walking it from further and get a bunch of whiz down, so you only probably lose 1 or 0 whizzes because you'll get like 1 damage in. His other golems kind of conglomerate on that cannon, and the one that originally set down walked into that cell ray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells. That aggroes 7 cells. Yeah, 7 cells aggroes the queen there. So finally tips her off and she comes over to rain on his parade. Throws the poison in, slows down her attack, and then throws the double poison on to kill the CC. And because that funnel, I mean, it looked like it was cut wide enough, but there was no anchor buildings when he set in the all-important troops. These popped up, and you'll see she walked up, refocus, and she's about to take a walk around the base. So as those poisons slowly kill the CC, and the enemy queen's going to come over. Just do it. Bam. So lucky, but now he lost his squad. So what does he do? He uses the other jump, which was supposed to bring his troops way over here, right? He tries to aggro them back into the base, but it's kind of hard to do unless you can cut a funnel. They're just going to keep on following that trash line, and that's what we're about to see here. Follow the trash line, ignore the jump, and keep going. Now he's in a pickle. He throws the heal down wisely because there's his damage crew, right? He's got his queen and his bowlers working. There's not... It might have been different if there was a bunch of defenses firing down on them. There's not. He needs to keep them alive and moving around this area. So he's got his 1 giant. That's going to get some focus as his hogs move into the base. And with a little bit of luck, patience, keeping that kill squad alive, keeping those all important OP bullers that not a lot of people use correctly alive, he's going to get this job done. They're not just an expendable troop, guys. You throw them at a Town Hall 9. If they die instantly, you are not just losing your CC. The power that comes from those things long-term, splash damage, it's a pretty immense. So he strategically placed his hogs on the last couple buildings as his troops move over. They met perfectly on that last archer tower. Had he hit 1 or 2 more spring traps, that would have been game over. But he wisely used his rest of his spells. So what started as a mistake, you know, he kept that kill squad going, and you don't spend your resources on 3 golems to let them fizzle out in the first 2 cells of the base. You just don't. If you have a plan, you bought into the plan, you keep going. I talk about this on Queen Pop all the time. You have a plan. Because you spent 6 balloons trying to get the CC out and you failed, you don't give up. Spend 6 more, 10 more, whatever it takes. You have to stick to that plan or the attack's blown anyways. So finish the portion you started. Make sure that it succeeds. And just maybe, because you made 1 mistake or 2 mistakes, you could pull it off. Now, if you don't finish that and you make 1 mistake, well, not finishing it is the biggest mistake. Whatever portion, maybe the kill squad portion, maybe the tanking portion, if you don't finish that, you won't win the battle. So that's just my advice, my philosophy. I hope you guys like it. I hope you appreciate it. There's some hogs. Hogs are coming back. They're getting an HP buff. Play with them if you haven't, because they're going to be great. So ask me any questions if you got them. Make sure you are following me at CastnBlastCOC. And I'll check you guys next time.